even though I can't use AI at the moment at my job because of the privacy and security concern, I could still get it to help in a very small way. For example, formatting the Excel sheet that the customer gave us and for our machine to upload, or code review. Sometimes if you just paste a very small section of the code, it's not giving away security or secrets, but it still can offer very good suggestions and code reviews and boundary conditions for you to improve on. And it will suggest coding style as well. And for very tedious work like writing a Excel import or a template download, something like that, I could just ask it to do it, and it will just write the whole thing for me, write the whole function for me, and I could just copy and paste, because most of the time the Excel, those kind of utility functions are not really confidential, and so you can ask the AI to help out without giving the secrets away. Also, you can use it to understand. So say example, you have a very large legacy-based system. You can copy a section of it and just ask AI like to break it down into small parts, whether if that makes sense or not. And this part probably need a subscription where you can make sure that it's not shared publicly. And but this is super helpful, because a lot of time when you see a legacy code, it would take hours and of patience for you to understand the whole thing, and you're probably already exhausted at that point. But with AI help, you can kind of quickly locate the place where you might need changing, and you can maybe ask it to tidy up, or maybe offer some explanation as to what this section of the legacy code is trying to do. And that just give you a lot less headache is to struggling with something that is so monologue and hard to understand. And also I think that it will teach you the best way to do things as well. So for example, if you have a SQL that you're not sure whether if it is efficient, you can just copy and paste that SQL and ask it whether if this would take a very long time, and it will just give you the best way to optimize that query without costing a lot of CPU resources. And also I think that in terms of I haven't started using AI coding tools because I have to respect the company's kind of intellectual property, but just in a small ways. This is really super helpful in my day-to-day life. Personally, I have downloaded like 4 or 5 AI tools on my phone and just use it every day. I use Perplexity a lot to do shopping like check. So say for example, I need to buy a tablet, I just ask it to do the research for me and give me a summarized feature and products where it fit my need. I can also ask it to check the labels of cleaning products, whether if that's safe for the environment and safe for household use. And the same with like hair care and skincare products. I can just scan the label and ask it to see whether if that product is actually doing what it's claimed to do. So that's really good for, I know that Perplexity is searching the web, so that's why it's good to use it to do price comparison, because it does have the latest information. And I also use the Gemini, which is a Google product, and that is super handy in terms of if you talk to it, it will create task lists for you to add to Google Calendar, Google Tasks, and Google Keeps. So because it's connected to all your Google products, so it can just, put everything on and without you having to type it and make a mistake. So I like Gemini 2 very much, and mainly because it's connected to Google products, and that's like really handy. And apart from that, the next thing I would do is to look at vibe coding tool, which is something like Cursor and Entropic's Cloud Code. I have installed the Cloud Code on my machine, but I think it has encountered some problem on Windows, so I would need to try that on my Mac. But I have tried Cursor to upgrade my app that I wrote last year to the latest version, and because I kind of lost touch as to what the latest version, like how to use it. So I use Cursor to help me to upgrade to that, and it does exactly that, and also change some config file into the proper format. What I only need to do is to copy and paste the error message that I saw, and then it will tell me that it's because the version is incompatible with the old one. So it will generate the diff file, and I just copy and paste the diff. So I had a very smooth experience upgrading my Expo app to the latest version because I use React Native. And I also found it an incredible learning tool, because I used to have to kind of check the documentation and to do the upgrade. And also I was trying to learn Tailwind, but I couldn't find appropriate documentation on that. So but that's one of the reasons I stopped. But with the Cursor such tool, it will explain how you do something and give you examples. So it was invaluable, and it makes the learning curve very, very enjoyable, because you are not broken by the flow. You're not broken because you want to do something and then you have to stop and do documentation check and encounter like version errors, and that's very frustrating. But with this kind of tool, you can just keep going and keep learning. So I found that I would definitely use Cursor a lot more, but definitely try Claude as well, because I think it's highly recommended everywhere. I also went to a AI meetup 2 days ago, and learned about business use in terms of doing market research. Mainly use Google AI Studio. So it looks like kind of it looked like a very functional suit, and it's actually just a website. So you can try it out and do some marketing research with Google the websites, and it will gathering and type out the report for you. And I think that it's a invaluable tool for business people to do market research, to figure out what the market wants, and generate a report with that to And after that, you can query using Notebook LM, which is kind of a summarizing and organizing tool to kind of drill down all your information into category and subcategory and subcategory. So you get a hierarchy of information on the stuff that you gather from the website, from the YouTube, from everywhere. And so even from your Google Drive maybe. So that's what I learned from that AI meetup, and I also learned so much about how the privacy and the security works, because the privacy, like, it can index your local documents, your PDFs, and your own personal projects, but you will have to moderate it. So there is some sort of kind of a privacy or privacy concern as such, but I think if you get the pay plan, then it's not as bad. So that is something that we do need to figure out how to do. I think it would be best to download a local version on your machine if your machine is powerful enough. So I did that like 2 weeks ago. I downloaded Olama, and I think that is something that you can use to download a local version of the LLM onto your machine, so you can make sure that it's definitely airtight and not being shared. But I had some trouble getting that to work on the Windows, because it keep asking me to download a Linux virtual machine. So I don't really understand that. But apart from that, it has been a really interesting journey for me, and I am definitely positive about this whole thing and how this could use in so many areas of business, personal, and maybe it's just requires constant mindset shift. So a lot of mindset shift, like source code is now cheap. So you can ask AI to generate and regenerate. You can write throwaway code. You can try to describe a task in such a way that is logical and possibly can get AI to do it. So your imagination is the key. And also, I haven't gotten into too much of a prompt engineering, but that's the next thing to do, I guess. But I feel that with coding, it's like you're only limited by your imagination. So it's just a matter of like, how can I use this in my situation if I describe it properly? And of course, it takes some time to get used to this, and also there are mistakes that happens, and sometimes you like doing it and asking to do something, it mix up with the previous thing that you copied, and for a simple task you can't do it for some reason. So I think that definitely it's not a magic bullet, but the more you use it, the more you realize how good or how not so good it is. And like it is just a fun project for anyone to do, and to have a different way of thinking and to see what's possible. And I personally am a very positive about it, because I think that it will make individuals very productive and much more productive, and it's just more pleasant to having to not do tedious things. And so I would take that attitude and continue learning every day.